Western team.
Yeah, good opportunity to get a little bit closer to 500 for Iowa State, obviously. And, you're getting into the heart of the season now as well, so those wins are that much more important. So another crucial 2 points for both of these teams here tonight.
And this time of the year is just so big, too, because you're coming up against winter break. You want to get a little bit of positive momentum going until you kind of take a little bit of a break in your schedule. So huge 2 points on the line for these two teams.
Got a chance to speak with both coaches prior to the game, and it seems like they know what's on stake. And not only that, what an opportunity for these players to be able to play on Marquee Sports Network and in the big venue, the All-State Arena.
It's not something you expect when you play ACHA hockey, I think, so it's a pretty cool opportunity for these guys, and to get to play a game here is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Now we'll send it down to ice level as it is time for the national anthem. Always a starring rendition from Wayne Messmer. Even if it's on recording, that anthem puts a little juice into the veins for sure.
So good, yeah. Excited for the start here. I think it's going to be really interesting to see the start of this game. I think, obviously, these two teams played last night. The quick turnaround with a matinee 1 o'clock start is obviously quick. So I think the first 5 minutes are going to be really important for both of these teams to get off on the right foot. I liked what Dylan Hender said about staying 5-on-5. You don't want to take penalties, especially early in the game. So it'll be interesting to see how they start here.
Let's take a look at our New Trier goalie cams and take a look at tonight's starting goalies. Andrew Finneman in net for Northern Illinois. 5-2 on the year with a 2.81 goals against average. And opposing him for Iowa State, Noah Behrens-Gold, who is 1-2 with a 4.66 goals against average. Neither team going with the same goaltender that went last night, which is pretty customary.
Yep, to be expected, I think.
And we're underway. The faceoff won by Northern Illinois, and they quickly dump it in behind Behrens-Gold's net. Chased after and corralled by Riley Kress, and he rings it up the far side boards for the Huskies to take control in the neutral zone. Fanned on a pass that leaves it behind the net. Chased after by Trevor Slatt, and a quick shot from a sharp angle deflects off the back of the cage. I don't think that one technically got on net as both teams searching for the first shot on goal today. Gabe Myers corrals it for the Huskies, and he drops it into the offensive end, but unable to keep it there. Puck is fought for in the neutral zone, and once again, hit with the backhand. Robbie Zimmerman, a name that we expect to say quite a bit tonight, leads the team with 14 goals to go along with 24 helpers. And he crosses it to Connor Souza, and that little flick shot is saved. That one came off the stick of J.J. Mueller.
Yeah, Robbie Zimmerman, definitely a guy you want to be aware of every time he's on the ice, and it's something Iowa State definitely is going to be looking matchup-wise to try to, slow him down as much as they can. Definitely not a guy you want to, have a weaker line out, so they're going to be doing their best to try to match up with him for sure.
J.J. Mueller tries to win the draw for the Huskies, and he did, but the Cyclones beat him to the puck. Coming back the other way, Matthew Mahoney, one of the goal scorers last night for the Cyclones on the forecheck. And it comes behind the net, corralled by Lucas Sturm. But the Cyclones try to take it right back. Into the slot, a shot blocked out in front. Kept in by the Cyclones. That was Gabe Myers. Part of this starting D pair for the Cyclones and Coach Hostavecki's squad. Northern Illinois weaving it around. Trying to get it out of their defensive end. That's Micah Maldonado with a couple of players on his tail. And he breaks through with some space into the neutral zone. Couldn't get it past the body. A nice check from Ethan Ranger.
He came right off the bench, saw his man, threw the hip into him. That's a great way to start a shift.
Souza tried to catch the Cyclone defense in a change, but they recovered nicely. There's another one of those hip checks that Chris just pointed out. Chris is down at ice level today, kind of our eyes and ears for this contest, especially since in a big arena like this, we're so far from the action.
We're very far away up here, yep. I've never been this far away calling a game on the SHL network.
I can tell you guys the Iowa State bench, very lively, a lot of chatter. They are into it. You can probably hear it coming through my microphone.
I was just going to say a few stick taps we caught. Here's another shot from a sharp angle. That one, Finneman didn't have to make a save. He did get a save on the one prior. Each team with a shot on goal early on in the period. 17:24 left as the Huskies try to break through. Touched forward to negate the icing. There was Harrison Ranger, but it comes back the other way. Rybka touches it forward. This looks like Zimmerman with a step. He shoots, and a nice save made out in front.
Yeah, first really good chance for NIU. I think Iowa State's had a little bit of the better start here, but a little sloppy from both teams. Obviously, a little slow start, like I mentioned, with the afternoon start here. It takes a few to get the legs going. So, like Chris mentioned, I like getting a hit, trying to get yourself into this game as quickly as possible.
And I know you hear some players talk about this when they play in a bigger venue. The sight lines change a little bit.
Very much, especially for the goaltenders.
Certainly something to keep an eye on as that shot almost didn't get through, and then it created an open net that Oswald couldn't capitalize on. Oswald still digging, and it's the Cyclones breaking out. Out in front, the Cyclones with an easy attempt and a big save out in front from Finneman, and now some pushing and shoving out in front of Finneman's net.
Yeah, this will get you in the game here. Really nice save there by Finneman on a turnover right in the slot as we get our neutral goalie cam here. Yeah, nice glove there, and he drops the rebound, but he's able to smother it and finish the play there and, get out of that one. But, yeah, definitely a scary turnover for NIU.
Yeah, I think that rebound is what caused the scrum out in front because Iowa State was trying to jam that one in.
Play to the whistle, right? Got to let it go.
Looks like the Cyclones are going to go on a power play. I couldn't tell who the offender was for the Huskies, but he skated over to the sin bin, and we are going to have a power play for the Huskies for the Cyclones as they look to grab the first goal in today's ball game. Roughing is the call.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where you just kind of compound issues. You didn't give up a goal on the turnover, but that ensuing scrum ends up putting you shorthanded. So tough spot here for the Huskies.
With some speed, that was Dylan Hender. 2 goals yesterday, but he lost the handle.
Yeah, Cameron Pathana with on the roughing call there on the penalty.
That's the first such offense in today's contest. And the first look at either of these teams' special teams units. All the way on net, and it's covered up by Finneman.
Yeah, good job by the Huskies there, kind of steering them to the outside. Obviously, that's a pretty easy stop for Finneman, but obviously offensive zone draw, really good opportunity for Iowa State to try to get this set up and try to create something here on this power play. About a minute 15 left.
Sam Eaton took the draw, did not win it. He did have a goal in last night's game, as Iowa State tries to get a little bit of rhythm here on the power play. So far, the kill is very much so favored Northern Illinois. Here's Greg Harley with some speed into the neutral zone, dropping it off for Gabe Myers, who carries it in. Tries a centering pass, and it's sticked away. A good job from Northern Illinois to clear once more.
Yeah, really nice stick there to break that one up and get that clear.
Here's Harley behind his net. A big effort from J.J. Mueller. He ends up on his behind, and Iowa State has numbers if they hurry. Gabe Myers looking for somewhere to go with the puck behind the net. It comes right back to him, a little give and go to the top. Harley passed it over. The one-time attempt never got through Sam Eaton. And here's Harley chasing it down.
Yeah, he ate that puck. That was a outstanding shot block. It was a pretty good looking one-timer.
Let's see if Pagel can answer the bell. Drops it back behind the net, looking for a centering feed. Instead, dropping it back. They got a shot, and I think it was stopped out in front by Phantom, and either that or it missed the post. Down low to Myers. Myers tries to backhand center one. Harley's there to collect. Waits, now fires, and a big save from Phantom and out in front.
Yeah, really nice kill for NIU, but Iowa State did a good job in the last 40 to 45 seconds, generating a couple of chances. This is a really, really nice play here, and like you mentioned, nice block there by Finneman, and another nice little cut to the middle, find the open lane and get it on net, and nice job by Finneman, no rebound there.
Yeah, it was huge to soak that puck up. There's a ton of traffic in front, and Harley did a nice job to change the angle and make sure that shot got through. There wasn't a ton of mustard.
And that quick shot did get through all the way to the back of the net. Christopher Condelis puts the Cyclones on the board just after the penalty expired. And it's 1-0 Cyclones.
Yeah, quick developing play on the draw there as we get the replay here. Right away, dust it off a little bit, right on net. It looked like Finneman got a little bit of a piece of it as we get our Nutria goal cam here. Yeah, he does. He just gets a piece of it, but it gets through just under that blocker and finds a way to the back of the net to give them a 1-0 lead.
That is Christopher Condelis' first goal of the season for the Cyclones. Tomarskis fighting for it on the far side. It ends up in the neutral zone, and the Huskies start to rush up the other way. A little bit of speed coming in. J.J. Mueller creates an opening, trying to get through a couple of players, and ends up fighting the puck all the way to the far side boards. That was Pathana, the offender of the penalty, trying to drive toward the net there. And here's Mueller, gets it on the near side. Souza breaks it in and tries to dump it, and lifts it just a little bit too much off the netting for a whistle with 13:29 to go in period number one.
Yeah, a really crucial few minutes here for NIU after giving that one up. Obviously, they get through the kill. Iowa State was able to generate a little bit of momentum towards the end of that power play, and that led to the goal there right immediately following. But really important for NIU to try to tilt this ice a little bit and get down into their offensive zone, try to establish a little bit of a forecheck, and get to work on the offensive end. Spent a lot of time in their D zone so far.
And they might have to spend some more time in the D zone, as this one is fought for ahead by Mahoney. Never got a shot off, but the Cyclones able to take the puck all the way back down. Off the boards, back on top to Kress, who goes D to D. That shot fought for in the middle and never got through a maze of bodies. Looked like the Huskies blocked that one out in front. Ringing it back around is Hender, and he tries to center one. Looking for Mulkerin, and now it's Hender there to retrieve it behind the net. Got some time to decide what to do with it. Ends up getting deflected way up in the air. Recovered by Capasso. That shot blocked by his own man. I think DeCola out in front got a piece of it. Cyclones once again able to keep it in, extending this possession, making it hard for Northern Illinois to get new bodies onto the ice. Tried to send that one down to the net, never got through. Another shot block out in front. That time it was Shirky making sure it didn't get through. Puck is still loose on the backside. A very long possession for Iowa State, and they like to keep this momentum going as long as they can.
Yeah, they're all over them right now. Tired guys on the ice for NIU. Let's see if they can get a change here.
They are going to get at least half of a change. And let's see if Northern Illinois can respond on the offensive end. Quickly sent back the other way by the Cyclones. Bueller lost the handle, and it comes back to the top for Gabe Myers, who tries to weave it through the slot. There's Harley on the far side. Into the slot it comes. That shot never got through as Bueller tried to turn it onto the net. Now with a little bit of speed comes Northern Illinois the other way. Tried to backhand center one. Still loose out in front. Pass off the far side boards. Huskies send one on net, and it's deflected by the stick of the netminder Barons Gold. Cyclones trying to keep this out of harm's way as the body falls to the ice right in front of the net. Looks like it's Bueller and Lekwinski duking it out in front of Barons Gold. On the near side, Northern Illinois tries to keep. It comes all the way back down the length of the ice, and we will have our first icing of the game.
Yeah, starting to push back a little bit after a long shift in their own zone. NIU generating a few chances there. I'd like to see them try to continue that, obviously. But they're doing a little bit better. Get that puck below the goal line and go to work. Try to win battles, force Iowa State's defense to make decisions. And the more you do that, the more likely they're going to make mistakes, and you'll be able to capitalize on those chances.
Northern Illinois gets the right line out there. It's the Robbie Zimmerman line. He's out there taking the draw and securing it for the Huskies. Little backhand pass into the slot. That shot is saved by Barons Gold. Nice job from Zimmerman and Smith, who have connected on a lot of the Huskies' goals this season.
Yeah, and nice job by Barons Gold to swallow that one up. Both goaltenders doing a pretty good job with rebound control, not giving up too many second opportunity chances and helping out their defenders for sure.
Face-off controlled by the Cyclones and brought behind the net, Benjamin Fanstein. Cyclones dump it on net, and it's covered up in the glove. Fanneman probably won't get any easier than that one today.
Hey, you still got to make sure, though. You never know. Sometimes those weird ones are the ones that trick you, so definitely have to be careful, but good job by him to swallow that one up.
7-6 in favor of Iowa State is the shots on goal thus far. And they lead this one 1-0 about midway through the first period on Marquee Sports Network and the SHL Network. That's Tomarskis for Northern Illinois with the backhand, sending it towards Smith, and he sends it up the other way. Walker Smith and Robbie Zimmerman. Good poke check. Keeps it in for the Cyclones to defend up against the far side boards. Flipped up on the far side, carried through and sent down the other way. Iowa State will go for a much-needed change. Smith touches it forward, but the Cyclones keep. Save made and steered aside by Fanneman. That pass got deflected off the skate of a Cyclone, and it goes up and out of play.
Yeah, nice couple of shifts there for NIU. Like I mentioned, getting a little bit more offensive zone time. Iowa State trying to push back a little bit. I like Iowa State's D. They're very active in the offensive zone. If you watch, they're jumping up in the play, trying to keep this puck in the zone as much as they possibly can. They just got to be careful making sure you're making good decisions, not getting caught.
Harrison Ranger tried to put a quick one with the backhand on net, missed wide. And Mueller for Northern Illinois trying to start the rush. And instead, it's the Cyclones corralling and sending it back. Icing is waved off. And winning the race to the puck was Harrison Ranger. On the near side, sticked forward. Mueller couldn't keep it in. But here comes on a rush. Souza, barred down. He scores.
Holy cow. What a shot by Souza. Looked like a pretty harmless play. He just kind of skated on that left side, but he made no mistake, man. He found that far corner. Look at this. Really nice. Finds that far corner right over the glove of Barron's Gold, and he's able to even this game up. Like I said, Northern Illinois generated a little bit of momentum there, and they're able to capitalize on that momentum and even this one up at 1. Just over 9 minutes left in the first period. That's a massive goal for them.
Yeah, I mean, what an impressive wrist shot there.
Insane. Quick release. Got it off really fast. The goalie had no time to react, and before he knew it, it was behind him.
Connor Souza, his 16th goal of the season, leading the way for Northern Illinois.
Guy who knows how to put the puck in the net, for sure.
And it's 1-1 here at the Allstate Arena. Northern Illinois with a little bit of momentum now. Souza rings it around the boards. Backhanded centering pass, touched across. Shot on net, deflected, and it goes wide. Souza sends another one toward the net. And now it seems like all the momentum favors the Huskies. Here's Mueller, that shot gets blocked out in front, and it's still once more recovered. Souza fighting for it. Sturm loses the handle, and it goes all the way back, but it will be corralled by Pathana.
It's amazing how a game can change with one shot, and that rip by Souza just really gave NIU some energy. They follow up that goal with another great shift, and a little bit of frustration here on the Iowa State bench after they were in control for much of the first 10 minutes of this game.
My favorite part about that is because Chris is on the Iowa State bench, shielding his body to say a little bit of frustration on the Iowa State bench so nobody hears him.
Yeah, we got a hot mic down here.
Goes behind Barron's Gold. Just allowed the goal from Souza. But Souza put that in the only spot where the goaltender couldn't get to it, and it would go in. Sending it back up the other way for the Cyclones. Reed Wilson snaps one behind the net. A weird bounce has it deflect to the right side of Hanneman. And a nice touch pass up ahead. Here comes Rybka, loses his footing and loses the handle of the puck. Reed Wilson there to send it back the other way and keep it out of harm's way for the Cyclones. Another dump in to the back side of the net. And blowing a tire out in front allows Iowa State to get control. Active sticks, like you mentioned, Mike, from the defense, or excuse me, the forecheck of the Cyclones.
Making it very difficult for NIU to get any clean breakouts out of their zone. They're doing a very good job of breaking that stuff up.
Once again, able to stop it, but a whistle.
Looks like we're going to have a penalty on Iowa State here.
Matthew Mahoney skating to the box.
And as you mentioned, Chris, how quickly this game can change, right? Again, Iowa State seemed to have full control of this game through the first 10 minutes. Quick goal by NIU. Now a power play chance. It seems it's really turning towards NIU right now.
Yeah, that's just a huge momentum swing for them, and a now chance to build on that with a key power play here with 7 minutes to go in the first.
Face-off won by the Huskies. The perfect way to start the man advantage. You have some of their big goal scorers out there right now. Back behind the net, Peters. Into the slot it goes. Couldn't keep the handle of it. Ryan Morgan. Smith is there at the point with Zimmerman. His shot gets deflected up and out of play. We heard Dylan Hender before the game talking to Chris say one of the biggest keys for Iowa State is to stay even strength. And a big reason why is despite the win yesterday, they allowed 2 power play goals to this Huskies power play that is one of the tops in the ACHA.
Yeah, just seeing how they're able to move it just very briefly there, you can tell that they're a dangerous group for sure.
Quick shot steered aside by Barron's Gold. Maldonado sent that one on net, and it was the right pad that deflected it away for Barron's Gold. Here's another look right off the draw.
Yeah, nice save, good reaction time for him, and kicking, as you see him kick that leg to shoot that puck towards the wall, get it out of harm's way. You don't want to leave that puck right in the slot area there. Nice job by him to get that out of harm's way and keep this game even.
That top unit still out there for Northern Illinois. as they are on the man advantage. Maldonado gets it behind the net. And that's Morgan. Back to Maldonado. Driving right in with it. Barron's Gold hugging the post and tried to get it to back door, looking for Peters. Northern Illinois will keep again. Down low, looking for a centering pass. Again, looking for Peters. But Zimmerman and the Huskies able to keep it in their own end. Seems like a lot of cuts toward the net, part of this power play for the Huskies, creating some space. Zimmerman's ready to fire. Instead, fired on net and deflected out of play.
Yeah, a lot of movement, like you mentioned there. The guys without the puck are doing a lot of movement. If you're paying attention, you can see the puck carrier has the puck. Their heads are up. They're trying to scan and see what the other guys are doing, and all 5 of the other guys are moving around. It makes it really difficult for Iowa State to keep track of those guys, and make it, but they're doing a good job. You crowd the center of the ice, you protect the middle, and you just try to take away all those passing lanes as much as you can. But NIU's doing a good job of moving around and trying to create as many lanes as they can.
Souza back out there for the Huskies. Rybka with it on the near side. Van Voorhis lost the handle and gets it in the neutral zone, so Northern Illinois can restart the rush. They dump it in, have some numbers to chase after. Rybka fights for it on the near side, and it comes free.
Little miscue there. That was intentionally let back. They're expecting the puck to go to the point, and they kind of one zigged and one zagged, and you have the puck go the other way.
Iowa State doing a good job of just keeping this in their offensive end as long as they can. Even if they're not threatening to score, they allow themselves to get back to full strength, which is where we stand right now. 1-1, under 5 minutes to go in the first period. Here's Rybka. He's got Souza to his left. Instead, passes it over to his right on the far side. J.J. Mueller loses the handle and breaking through with a little bit of speed, but never able to secure the puck was Mahoney for Iowa State. A lot of active sticks in these passing lanes. Both teams' forecheck, I would say, has been pretty strong so far.
They're very aggressive, and they do a very good job of getting their sticks in the lanes and breaking stuff up. Even on plays like that where a guy's kind of trying to receive it, just making it difficult so that there's nothing clean makes it a lot easier to defend when you're able to break that stuff up.
And that time was Nathan Wilczek getting in the way and sending it down for a clear. Fresh bodies on the ice for both teams, as Iowa State tries to get the lead right back after allowing the equalizing goal before that power play. They did a good job killing. Comes out in front with a backhand. That was Kondilis looking for a second one, but he shot it wide. Here he is again in the slot, and it's taken away by the Huskies. A couple of bodies fall just into the neutral zone. And a little reset here for the Huskies. They'll chip it along the far side. And almost given away, would have given the Cyclones a great opportunity. Touching it forward was Varallo. And that one will be dumped just behind the net. Huskies will go for a quick change. 3 minutes to go in the first period. And it's a giveaway. Try to get a quick centering pass. Instead, Iowa State takes it up the far side, looking for some offense of their own. Zimmerman touches it ahead, and we might have a breakaway. Smith reaching for the puck, and he won't get there. Great instincts from Zimmerman just to send it out there. Smith couldn't corral it. Out in front, a nice save made with the waffle board. Centering pass deflected by the Cyclones, and they'll take it up the other way. Riley Crest with some speed. 2-on-2 into the offensive end. And a good defensive effort from the Huskies. And the Cyclones don't get a shot off.
Yeah, you mentioned really nice play by Zimmerman. Just kind of laying that puck out there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to catch up to it, but really nice play by him to try to spring a breakaway. Unfortunately, not able to connect, but good chance either way.
Here's a shot in the slot. He scores! J.J. Mueller found the puck on his stick after a couple deflections and punched it right into the back of the net.
Yeah, such a huge goal for NIU here. Looks like a little bit of a turnover in the defensive zone by Iowa State defense. Wasn't able to catch who exactly it was. They tried to do a hard rim around, and you see he finds Mueller just in the center of the slot there. Pretty much, obviously, the most dangerous area on the ice, and he makes no mistake. He's able to beat Barron's Gold and take a late first period lead. Obviously, last 3 minutes here, really big goal for NIU in a period that, obviously didn't start the way that they wanted.
That's Mueller's 13th goal of the season for Northern Illinois, who now leads 2-1 over Iowa State, a team that they've had a lot of trouble with so far this season. Lost 4-0 and a pair of 4-2 defeats. One of them last night in West Dundee to these Cyclones. That comes all the way down for an icing.
Yeah, and something I always talk about, too, is the shift after a goal is so important for both teams. Obviously, if you give one up, you want to make sure you don't compound and give up another. And if you're the one who gets it, you want to go out there and try to continue to build that momentum. So really important. Obviously, now we're in the last 2 minutes of the period, so that's important as well. So really important 2 minutes here for both of these teams to see how they kind of handle this this big moment in this game here.
You just saw some of our sponsors flash across the screen. A big thank you to all of our sponsors here at the SHL Network. And, of course, a big thank you to our partner with the Chicago Wolves for helping us put this showcase on today, as that one's right into the net. Speaking of the Wolves, book your next group outing with the Wolves. Learn more by visiting ChicagoWolves.com or calling 1-800-THE-WOLVES to enjoy a game with your friends, family, or coworkers this season. 1-800-THE-WOLVES. Face-off controlled by Iowa State, and a quick shot on net ripped by Harrison Ranger, and it's gobbled up by Fanneman.
Yeah, nice job by Fanneman as he falls back, as he's able to corral that. He looked a little unsure on that save, but he's able to corral that puck in and keep the early lead.
No pictures on the box score, I guess.
No.
This time the Huskies control the draw, and they'll send it up the other way. Giveaway in the neutral zone, and it's taken right back by the Huskies. Penn Russell doing a good job on the forecheck here, and here he comes again. Tries to lay a hit on the near side. Haven't been too many hits since that initial hip check. Ranger with another shot. That one had seeing eyes, but just missed the post. It's still fought for out in front. Fanned on it as Iowa State tries to get the equalizer. Ethan Ranger and Harrison Ranger both out there for the Cyclones as the Huskies send it back up. Barron's Gold deflects that one away, and Russell physically fighting for that puck, and it comes free for the Cyclones. They'll ring it off the far side boards. Ranger there to chase, but NIU sends it up the other way.
Ooh,
big hit there. That was Gabe Myers delivering the blow. Iowa State, that shot gets deflected up and out of play. A nice defensive effort from Van Voorhis.
Yeah, I think he might have heard you when he said there hasn't been a hit. When he said there hasn't been a hit in a
Said,
while.
I'll show you one.
Yeah, that was a nice hit right at the blue line there.
Yeah, I had a great look at it, shoulder on shoulder. You could hear the pop.
We could hear it from up here, Chris. It was, it was a nice hit.
18.5 seconds left in the first period. Iowa State trails 2-1, and that one goes right into the glove of the netminder Finneman. Sign up for a Skates Mates Kid Club All-Star membership today. And for $9.95, get the official Skates Mates t-shirt, free tickets, the chance to shoot the puck on skates, and more exclusive benefits. Sign up at ChicagoWolves.com/skatesmates. Seems like a pretty good deal.
That is a great deal.
Out in the slot once more, just missing the post with it was Iowa State. They still have about 10 seconds left in the period, dwindling down under 5 now. That shot out in front, still loose. Rebound. Save made by Finneman, and that's how we will end the first period of play. A very exciting finish, but as it stands, it's still 2-1 Huskies.
Yeah, nice flurry from Iowa State there to finish. Good job by Finneman to keep the lead heading into this break here. Obviously, you don't want to give up a goal in the last minute of the period. You did a really good job there to keep that 2-1 lead. You see him getting some love from some of his guys there after that.
I was going to say the officials had to step in even a little bit longer after the whistle as both teams skate off the ice at the end of the period.
Yeah, I always find in college matchups, the second game's always a little bit chippier. You know, you got a little bit, you saw each other last night, you're a little bit annoyed, whatever. But yeah, I always find that the second game is always a little bit more chippy.
We've got Chris standing by with one of the goal scorers from today's first period. Chris, take it away.
We've got J.J. Mueller. He's got the go-ahead goal in this game. And you guys a little bit behind the 8 ball in the early going of this game. Seemed like a really heavy forecheck from Iowa State. And then you get the goal from Souza. That seemed to really lift you guys up.
Yeah, definitely. I would say so. That was nice that he scored on that. We needed that a lot. So
How do you deal with a heavy forecheck? It seemed like Iowa State had a ton of energy coming into this game and really kind of took it to you, but then you turn the tide on them. How do you handle that?
I think we got to just transition more forward faster, not get stuck in our zone so much, and just have a better breakout against their forecheck. So just keep going. That's about it. Go north, less east-west.
All right, appreciate your time.
Northern Illinois says go north as the key to the second period. Thanks, Chris. 20 minutes in the books. We'll be talking to Iowa State's head coach Jonas Hostovecki after a quick break on Marquee Sports Network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Marquee Sports Network and the SHL Network. We are live here at All-State Arena for the Chicago Wolves Showcase. I am joined by Jonas Hostovecki, the head coach of Iowa State's club hockey team. Coach, first of all, give me your thoughts on the first period. Obviously, you guys, it seemed like you guys got off to a really good start, and you kind of pushed back. So, give me some thoughts on that.
Yeah, we are one of the younger teams in ACHA D1, and sometimes it takes experience, right? Especially in this series type of games, where you play the same team back to back. Sometimes it takes experience to know how to handle those situations, and IU is doing a very good job as playing, on our bodies, and obviously because, we are a little younger, my guys don't like it too much, so we are battling it right now.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about like doing these back-to-backs. I just mentioned sometimes the second game of those back-to-backs gets a little bit more chippy and it's a little bit more difficult. So, like you saw it in that at the end of the period there. Give me, what are your guys' thoughts, or what's kind of the message to the team, trying to handle that or navigate those difficult times and the physicality of the game sometimes.
Yeah, well, I tell my guys they don't like when they get hit, right?
Nobody
so
does.
just hit them back.
There you go.
They're not gonna like it either. It's for us the most important thing is that we have to stay with our own game, right, and don't really worry about what the other team does. That's kind of we started, how you mentioned before, we started very well. We had power play, we scored right away, and then we kind of took the feet out of the gas, and just NIU kind of picked it up the speed. So we just have to get kind of back to our game.
So that's the message going down the locker room
Yes.
now. Just get back to what we were doing at the start. It seemed like you guys were kind of all over them right off the bat. Your D are very active, it seems, in the ozone too, kind of jumping up, trying to keep pressure as much as you can. Talk to me a little bit about like this experience. Obviously, this is such a cool opportunity for you guys. Obviously, playing on TV and getting to play at the All-State Arena. Talk to me a little bit about like the experience that you guys have had, and what the boys have kind of been going through. The last couple days.
It's very nice. It's you should see some of the ice rink we play in, right?
I play club hockey. I get it, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's a little upgrade, right? It's good experience for the guys, right? Like on end of the day, ACHA D1 is still league where if you do good for 4 years, you can still go play professionally, right? And this is kind of the goal for the guys, right? Like look at this arena. This is where you want to be, but
right.
It takes hard work and determination to get here, right? So it's not going to happen. So I like it. I'm glad that we had this opportunity to play here. And, obviously we have, I would say, some kind of rivalry with NIU in the last couple of years. We play them every year 4 times. So, like, the teams maybe don't like each other that much,
that makes
right?
it a little bit more fun, especially to get to play here,
exactly.
like to have that against them too. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Last question. Talk to me a little bit about obviously you guys being at Iowa State. Talk to me a little about like recruiting or how you kind of build the program that you guys have. As you mentioned, you guys got a younger team. Just give me some insight into trying to run one of these club programs for people at home who might not know.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually my first year with Iowa State, right? But Iowa State is, I mean, it's a huge school, right? Everyone knows Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
So like the recruiting actually is it's not the hardest thing for me,
sure.
And but that being said, we have to. I have a lot of players who didn't play juniors. They came right from high school, right? And that
so it takes them a little bit longer to kind of get used to
develop
the
and
game.
stuff like that, right? And I also, I have seniors and juniors. They are 19, 20 years old, where the other teams' players are 24, 25 years old, right? So we need to do a little better job as a program to bring the junior kids, right, to recruit a little bit more from the Northern American Hockey League and NCDC and some of the Canadian junior leagues, and we just have to go forward pretty much from that.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. We will be right back, ladies and gentlemen, for the Chicago Wolves Showcase for the second period here at All-State Arena. We'll be right back.
Appreciate me.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much. Good luck, Coach.
Welcome back to All-State Arena in the first period intermission report. My name's Anthony Pasquale here with Mike Doherty, and 2-1 is the score after one period of play. Northern Illinois gave up the first goal to Iowa State, but the way they responded was pretty telling of the way, like, they haven't been able to do that in the other contests against the Cyclones.
Yeah, we just heard Jonas Hostevecki, the head coach of Iowa State, talking about how, this is a pretty decent rivalry between these two teams. Obviously, they're playing 4 times a year, so they know each other well, and there's, some bad blood, and they want to win. So it was really nice to see the way that Northern Illinois responded. And, for Iowa State, obviously he was mentioning getting back to their game and doing what they did to start the period is obviously going to be the focus for them coming out in the second. So we'll see if they're able to do that. Obviously, NIU is going to do everything they can to prevent that. But pretty good back and forth period. Both teams kind of trading chances. So, pretty good period for both teams, I'd say.
And another thing that I would say was pretty good that we haven't gotten a chance to touch on a ton was the goaltending. Both Finneman and Barons Gold turned in some pretty good periods, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, we mentioned it a little bit during the game. The rebound control was really nice from both goalies. Obviously, a few getting away, but Barons Gold with that nice kick to shoot the puck wide, and Finneman with some glove saves that he's able to absorb. So, obviously only 2-1. You mentioned kind of the goals against average for both goalies is a little bit high. So, anything that they can do to bring those numbers down, and they did a great job in that period. Again, both teams having a decent amount of pretty good chances, and both goalies stood tall. And again, the rebound control is obviously the key for both, and I think they both did a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, and for Northern Illinois, we talked a little bit about it beforehand. The line with Zimmerman and Smith has done so much production, but it was really like the Souza Mueller line that was so forceful in that first period. Do you expect more of the same, or do you anticipate we'll see that Zimmerman-Smith line start kind of taking over?
Well, Zimmerman-Smith, that line, you're going to have to try to match up, as I mentioned earlier. It's difficult to do, obviously, being the road team. You don't get the last change, so NIU's going to do everything they can to try to get favorable matchups for those guys. But, I mean, Zimmerman's a guy you're going to have to pay attention to no matter when he's on the ice. So it's just a matter of time until he's able to most likely crack through here. But either way, it's nice to get that depth scoring from a guy like Souza, and it was such a nice shot on the goal there. So any production from them, especially in a game like this against a team that's kind of had your number, production from anywhere is a huge help. So I'd expect them to probably push here in the second and get it going a little bit, though, for sure.
And you mentioned when Northern Illinois first went down 1-0 to the Cyclones, how important that equalizing goal was.
Massive.
How important was it for them to get that second goal before intermission?
Well, it gets you, when you go into that locker room, it's like, okay, we got this. Like, this team is not just going to run us out of the building here. It settles them in, and they can have a little bit of confidence coming out of the locker room here. With a lead, and you can you play a different style of hockey when you have a lead. You can kind of chip pucks in and play a little bit more passive. Not that you're going to play passive in the second period, but you can take a little bit less risks and things like that. So we'll see if they make any adjustments on that front. But either way, like you said, it's a massive goal to be able to get that lead heading into the intermission.
Right, and I guess the biggest question now is, how does Iowa State respond?
Well, Jonas was saying, the focus for them is just to get back to what they were doing, and they came out so hot in this first period, obviously coming off a win yesterday, the energy's in the room. Once that settled away, NIU was able to push back and obviously take the 1-goal lead. So I expect them to continue to do what they did at the start of the period. Get pucks in deep, force the NIU defenders to make plays, good sticks.
Right.
Like you mentioned a few times, they're breaking plays up all over the ice. So it's just a matter of time and breaking those plays up to transition and try to create chances as much as you can.
Absolutely. And this game, of course, is part of the local Chicago Wolves Hockey Community Showcase. And let's take a quick look on some other things coming up for the SHL Network and for the Community Showcase. Here's the SHL Game of the Week schedule coming up on December 7th. It's Stevenson against Loyola. And then I think everybody's got December 13th circled on their calendar. Glenbrook North, whose coach was asked to leave last year.
Is this the first game this year?
Then Evan Poulikitis now coaching York. That's who they play on December 13th. And as you keep going down the list, December 20th, Carmel against Glenbrook South, two really good teams. And on the 20th, York against St. Viator. So it just continues a lot of great hockey on the SHL network.
I've got that. Obviously, the December 13th game will be fun, GBN York, but York St. Viator, those are two top teams in the SHL.
Mhm.
I really like both of those teams' games. That'll be a nice heavyweight matchup heading into the Christmas break. A little 2 o'clock start, everyone loves. But yeah, nothing better than SHL Network, man. Some awesome matchups, obviously, some great teams. It's going to be fun to see, obviously, how they how these all pan out heading into the Christmas break.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break on Marquee Sports Network before the second period of action. Back for more action. The second period just moments away here at the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. Anthony Pasquale, Mike Doherty, Chris Dubio. 2-1 is our score. The Huskies on top of the Cyclones after 20 minutes. And a fresh 20 up there on the clock as we get ready to go in period number 2. Huskies working from left to right. Cyclones from right to left in this period. And the Cyclones control the opening draw. Quickly into the slot. That shot gets deflected by Van Vooters. As Northern Illinois tries to start the break. Fought for on the backside. Ryan Morgan in a puck battle. And it comes loose. Morgan able to jam it behind the net. Zimmerman wraps it around his own net as he tries to start the rush for the Huskies. And a stretch pass finds Smith all the way. Smith in alone. His shot trickles in. Zimmerman had eyes in the back of his head, flipped around, stretched it all the way to Smith, who gets a quick goal on the board for the Huskies.
Yeah, we talked about it during the break. You asked me, Anthony, if these two specifically were going to get going in the second period, and they wasted absolutely no time. Really nice pass by Zimmerman to find Smith on the break, as he was just sitting right behind Iowa State's D on that far blue line, and he's able to find him, and he makes no mistake. They're kind of targeting that low blocker of Barron's Gold, something to pay mind to here as we move forward in this game, but a really nice finish from Smith to give them a little bit of insurance, a 3-1 lead here early in the second period.
Walker Smith has now reclaimed the lead for Northern Illinois goals on the season. He's got 18 on the year to go along with 18 assists, 36 points.
NIU just wasting no time. Picking up where they left off late in that first period, and it's all their big guns that are getting on the scoreboard. They are really leading the way for the Huskies this afternoon.
Zimmerman, we've talked about his goal scoring, but that was his 25th helper of the season. Just, it goes to show you how effective he is offensively, whether he has the puck or not.
And how difficult he is to defend, right? When you can do both, it puts a little bit more doubt into the defender's mind. So it's just more to be cognizant of every time he has the puck and every time he's out there. And, that pass is not easy. That's a nice pass right on the money to Smith to spring him on that breakaway. So, yeah, definitely something that these Iowa State defenders are going to have to pay attention to.
Makes it really tough when you want to play aggressively, and all of a sudden you have the other forwards that you're trying to defend against. They kind of sneak back behind you. It's definitely a challenge for those defensemen.
And that was something you mentioned there in the first period with how aggressive Iowa State is. They get their defense involved offensively, but what can happen is those long stretch passes, nobody's on the back end to make sure nobody gets behind them.
When you play that style, it's really important that the D are making smart decisions. That's the key. So just that one, they kind of just got caught on with a long pass. But yeah, it's really important when you're pinching and things like that to make sure that you're making smart decisions and not putting yourself in bad situations.
That top unit defensively back out there for the Cyclones, Harley and Myers, both of whom had assists in last night's win over the Huskies. But we mentioned it, Iowa State's 3-0 in the season series against Northern Illinois. Despite the records, if you looked at their records in their standings, Northern Illinois on paper looks like the better team.
Yeah.
Today we're seeing a little bit more of that, but Iowa State certainly has played them tough all season long. Van Voorhis sends it up the near side. Iowa State there to chase after it. Grabbing it and wrapping it behind the boards is Reed Wilson. And he leaves it for Benjamin Fanstein. Quickly recovered by Northern Illinois. Dominic Varallo driving toward the net, and he gets it sticked away. Out in front it comes. What a save made. Barron's Gold. I don't even know if he saw the save that he made.
That could be a game-changing type of save, kicking the leg out. All of a sudden, if you're down by 3 in the second period, you're behind the 8 ball. Let's remember that save for sure.
Absolutely. What a save it was. Turned his head around. He got, like you said, Chris, he kicked the pad out faster than he got his head around. Here's another look. Oh.
Yeah, Chris hit around the head, just sticking that left pad out. And, it looked like it almost just kind of hit him. But either way, he gets in the way of that one. And like you mentioned, Chris, such a massive save to keep it a 2-goal game. 2-goal worst lead in hockey, the old saying. 3-goal lead is much different. So huge save there by Barron's Gold to keep it a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, Jeff Shirkey probably thought he had One of the easiest goals he'll ever score.
Look, there's a lot of net there.
Quickly, the Huskies come right back. Centering pass had a wide open net again if he was able to get a stick on it. That was Shirky once again.
Something to pay mind to, too, is obviously Iowa State seems to have a lot of pressure, but NIU is so dangerous on the rush. You really have to be careful. And like I mentioned with those D, you really don't want to be giving up too many odd man breaks to them.
We've seen them already take advantage of one of those odd man breaks. Go ahead, Chris.
Those passes through the neutral zone are going to be really key. They've got to be crisp and on the tape because it's the last thing you want is a deflected puck at center ice and all of a sudden the play's going the other way, especially for an NIU team that the confidence just seems to be building with each shift. And, you know, even when they fell behind, I was keeping an eye on their bench. NIU, they fell behind. The bench was calm, cool, collected. Not a lot of talking. And even after taking the lead, it's just been all business on the bench.
That shot blocked by Northern Illinois. Sending it back up the other way. Great job defensively by Penn Russell to start that rush. Forcing Iowa State all the way back the length of the ice. Riley Kress fighting for it along the boards. Chips it up. Mason Capasso takes over. And up ahead it comes Dylan Hender with some speed. Gets that sticked away and has to reset once more. Hender wraps it around and gets it on the near side to Mahoney. Has a step, getting hounded. And in the slot it comes. Hender tries to get it to Mahoney, and he just misses the stick. Coming up the other way, Northern Illinois looked like Zimmerman was going to have a chance. They still have some numbers here. Driving right in, looking for a backdoor pass. The save, a rebound attempt, back of the net. What an initial save it was from Barron's Gold, but the pressure kept on coming. It's Broden Oswald.
Yeah, and it all starts with Zimmerman at the blue line with a nice little move, and then he dishes, and they take it wide, throw it at the net, and they've made a couple of those plays. They isolate that D and go try to create a 2-on-1 down low, and yeah, Barron's Gold makes one, and he's just not able to corral it, and NIU's able to capitalize and extend this lead, and Iowa State's going to have the work cut out for him now, down 3, 15 minutes left in the second.
Great job from Northern Illinois to just keep the pressure on even after the initial save. Barron's Gold has turned in some excellent efforts in between the pipes in this period, but offensively, Northern Illinois has just been a little bit too much for the Cyclones. Could be another chance here. Zimmerman tries to get a hold of it in the neutral zone, and Iowa State there to collect. Big hit right in front of the Iowa State bench, and I think that's where the puck ended up.
A nice catch by you, Chris, talking about NIU's bench and kind of how they've been all business, and talking to Jonas Hostevecki, the head coach of Iowa State, talking about how this Iowa State team is a younger team and one of the younger teams in the division. So managing their emotions is something that he mentioned as well. So something to keep an eye on down there as this game progresses. Obviously down 3 now. Really important that you keep that in check to try to claw back here.
Yeah, that's a great point. Iowa State started this game with so much jump, and it's just kind of slowly faded, and now they're chasing the game.
Yeah, they got that first goal, but it certainly has been all Huskies since. Iowa State looking to grab some of that momentum back. And the Huskies, you mentioned how they kind of switched the way they played when they were up by 1, now up by 3. They can really get conservative and try to protect this game, but I don't see any reason why they'd stop with the foot on the gas offensively.
Yeah, I think you just keep doing what you've been doing for sure. You have so much offensive skill on this team. There's no reason to even take your foot off the pedal because there's still over half of a game left here. And a 3-goal lead is not safe with that much time left.
Absolutely. Tamarskis on the near side, skips right through him. And here comes Morgan. He's got Smith to his left, tries to get it past a man. And a good job from Gabe Myers getting in his way defensively. Stretch pass. Recovered by the Huskies, and they'll start the rush up the other way with some numbers if they hurry. Tamarskis was getting hounded from behind, gets it sticked away as the Huskies try to reset. Smith takes it and almost gives it away in the neutral zone. Still fought for on the far side boards. Looks like Wilczak will come collect. And Iowa State will take it right back. Shot misses wide. Off the stick of Condelis, who has the first goal of the game for Iowa State. But the offense has been few and far between since for the Cyclones. Breaking out with a little bit of speed, couldn't get the handle on it. But weaving past a couple of bodies and almost taking it into the zone was Micah Maldonado. Here come the Cyclones. That shot blocked. The second shot from Ranger also never got through. Iowa State will have to tag up quickly as that one was dumped in. Seems like they're starting to get a little bit more energy on the offensive side of things.
I was just going to say, good, nice couple of shifts there for Iowa State, trying to get a little bit of momentum back here. Like I said, just got to get that next one, and you're back into this game for sure. It's still plenty of time.
Yeah, you can definitely see and sense a little bit more heightened sense of urgency for the Cyclones.
We've seen a few pucks that they may have tried passes with earlier in the game just be thrown on net. Because I think one of the first things you learn is good things happen when you put pucks on the net. Here comes in the neutral zone. Reed Wilson with some speed gets that taken away again. J.J. Mueller has one of the goals today. He settles, waits. Centering pass, Mueller gets it on a stick. Quick snapshot save made. Barron's Gold. Big hit on the near side boards, absolutely leveled by Matthew Mahoney. Wow.
That was a bomb.
Mahoney gets the puck right back, but it deflects off his stick all the way down the other way. Van Horhus controls, gets it on the near side, and it's touched ahead by Varallo. Varallo, sharp angle shot, a save made from Barron's Gold. The rebound may have been there for a Husky to take a whack at, but nobody was home.
Yeah, nice job by Iowa State picking up that guy on the back end, not allowing that second chance, and good job by Barron's Gold picking up that first one and like I said, keeping this lead only to 3.
Myers weaves in, and Dylan Hender tries to get some offense going for the Cyclones. Comes back for Mahoney to take control of. By the far side circle. Gets it on the near side, up to Harley. Harley connects and gets it stolen away in the neutral zone. Varallo takes a big hit from Mahoney. It's still loose. And Hender's the one that gets it ahead for the Cyclones. Wraps around, tries to get a pass off, looking for Harley. And Harley waits in the slot. The backhand shot, sharp angle, never really got through. And Varallo tries to take it back up the other way. The referee was sandwiched in between the hit from Pagel.
Everyone's got to keep their head up out here.
Absolutely. Should get a helmet for Chris down there.
Yeah, right?
So far, so good down here.
Quickly in and out of the glove for Finneman, who has been hardly tested here in the second period. There he makes a save with the stick, and it's loose out in front, and he covers it right up. And it'll be an offensive zone draw for the Cyclones.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on too that NIU does so well, and it's so frustrating to play against this kind of style. Is they're very, very difficult to play against in the neutral zone. Their gaps are really good. The sticks are super active. They're always kind of breaking plays up, and Iowa State's trying to generate on the rush. They're not able to do that because of NIU's play in the neutral zone. And just something to keep an eye on as this game progresses. See if Iowa State makes any adjustments. Maybe chipping pucks in behind them, making those D turn and go. Having to go back into below their own goal line to go retrieve pucks. But definitely credit to NIU's defense. They're doing a great job so far in this game.
Already 10 minutes gone by in the second period. Northern Illinois has put 2 more on the board to extend their lead. They're on top 4-1 over the Cyclones, where we stand right now. Iowa State can't clear to Marcus, keeps it in. That shot gets deflected out in front. It still is before Barron's Gold gobbles it up. And we have a whistle.
Kind of a weird bounce. I don't know, Chris, maybe you had a better look at that. It looked like a hit off of one of the Iowa State's heads almost. Looks like they were obviously able to get out of it. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely a deflection in front. I did not catch exactly where that puck hit on its way in, but it definitely changed direction on Barron's Gold, and he just had very solid technique there to gobble it up.
Face-off controlled by the Cyclones as they try to start the breakup. Northern Illinois just hounding them in the neutral zone, making it so difficult to start anything, any type of rush offensively as that one gets flipped up into the crowd.
See, crowd's got to have their head on a swivel too.
Just going to say, everybody's got to be ready here. Special thank you to our sponsors here at the SHL Network. You see them scroll along your screen every so often. We wouldn't be able to do what we do here without them. The Nutria goalie cams are as big a part of this broadcast as any angle that we have. Yeah, exactly. Creates some very good looks. It makes our job a whole lot easier. Answers a lot of questions that we might have.
Oh, that was a close one. It looked like he caught it onside, and then he maybe backed up and, ended up just pulling it out of the zone. We're going to get a neutral zone draw here. 8:40 left. Really important for Iowa State, trying to generate something here in this last, half of this period. You want to have some momentum going into the third. Obviously, you don't want to give one up, but even if you don't get one, trying to, generate some offense and create some chances would go a long way, I think, for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the attitude for that 20 minutes off that you have can change exponentially with the way that this 8.5 minutes goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially when you have that long break. You got to sit there and, you're just thinking and thinking and thinking. And a 4-2 deficit feels much better than a 5-1. So
no doubt,
that next goal is just so crucial. And like I said, even if you don't get the next goal, build some momentum and give yourself some confidence coming into the third. Try to claw back at that point, but definitely want to try to generate some chances here to finish off this period.
Puck comes to center ice. Iowa State will touch it ahead as they try to get some momentum, like you said. Here's Zimmerman, his line back out there with Smith. Backhanded feed looking for Zimmerman in the slot. Morgan there, couldn't corral it. And it comes back to center ice. Given away and taken by Iowa State. That was Bueller. And Bueller rings it to the near side. Touched up ahead, looking for Brandt. And it's Latanzio who has to drop it back and reset once again. Now it'll be sent in for Iowa State to go for a change and chase after the puck. Northern Illinois tries to go quick and catch them in a change, and now they've got a 3-on-2. Here comes Zimmerman, trying to see the whole ice. He'll fire one to the net. Might have even just been looking for a rebound there.
Yeah, I think he was looking for that far pad, and he got it. Nice chance there. Unfortunately, unable to grasp it and put it in.
Greg Harley taking it up the other way for the Cyclones. His shot gets deflected, never got through out in front, and the Huskies smothering defense continues. Smith gets his stick in the passing lane and takes it away. He has one of the goals in this period for the Huskies. A nice keep, though, from Iowa State. That was Mulkerin extending the possession. Mahoney out in front with a deflection, and it gets lost right in front of the crease. And a giveaway. Iowa State tries a centering pass. What a save made! Finneman says no.
Nice flurry there for Iowa State. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, Finneman, just a couple of great saves. That first shot was a sneaky, tough one through traffic from the point. And then the point blanker, that was huge.
Rybka takes it away for Northern Illinois as they try to start the rush. It's Zimmerman one-on-one. Tries to pull off a move. Still keeps the handle of the puck as his enforcements arrive. Out in front. Oh, what a tic-tac-toe type of play. But the save made from Barron's Gold out in front. It was happening too quick to keep up with.
You mentioned it during the intermission. Both goalies still playing very well, keeping their teams in it here. Maldonado,
his shot right into the 5-hole and stopped by the netminder, Barron's Gold, who continues to make some great saves.
Yeah, nice, like I mentioned, nice flurry there from Iowa State. This save by Finneman is unbelievable. Sliding basically post to post on the back door.
Fantastic.
Oh, my gosh, what a save. Sticking that left leg out. But this is what I'm talking about, just generating some chances, right? Seeing some of these pucks on net, it goes a long way for your team. It gives you a lot of confidence, and coming off of NIU turnovers, when you pressure their D, they're more likely to turn pucks over, so continue to do that.
Rybka sets one on net quickly, and it gets saved by the netminder, Barron's Gold. Holidays are right around the corner, and every Wolves fan on your Christmas list will love a new jersey, T-shirt, or hat this holiday season. We've made your shopping easy. Visit ChicagoWolvesStore.com. There you'll find the best selection of gear from your favorite brands, including CCM, Nike, Violent Gentlemen, Adidas, and more. Face-off controlled by the Cyclones as they look for some momentum before the second period comes to an end. Play might have been
That looked
offside.
offsides. Got away with one.
Let's see if they could take advantage. Instead, it goes right into the glove of Finneman, who keeps it out of harm's way.
If that went in, I think they may have called us up for a replay on that one, like in the NHL. I think
Yeah.
Jimmy the Wiz might have had a call down to the penalty box to let them know it was up.
We've had plenty of times where we just have to remind the listeners that all of the angles that we see, they don't get any of
Nothing.
that. Yeah. We are so spoiled up here.
Neither does Chris. Chris doesn't get any of those angles, and he does a great job down there too.
True.
Appreciate it, guys. Different perspective, though. That's what I can bring. Inside the glass here, you can really sense the juice that Iowa State had at the beginning of this game. They're starting to get it back. They're trailing, but there's a little bit more belief. They're playing with a lot more physicality too. It's fun to watch.
We'll see if that can start to translate on the scoreboard, potentially before the second period winds down. About 5 minutes to go in the middle frame. Stretch pass ahead. In alone, here he comes. J.J. Mueller, save made by Barron's Gold. Mueller was looking for his second of the game.
Barron's Gold has made 2 or 3 great A's in this period. Obviously, this game could be 5-6-1, and he has kept them in this game. Credit to him. And last 5 minutes here, let's see if Iowa State can steal one and close the gap.
That shot almost got through. A nice save made from the pad of Finneman. Just barely got a piece of it. Up ahead to neutral ice it comes. Maldonado and Mueller were the ones trying to create the 2-on-1, and now here's a 2-on-1 for the Cyclones. But they couldn't corral a bouncing puck. That was Mahoney, who would have had a good opportunity there in the slot. Spin it around, and here come the Huskies. Maldonado fires, and a nice save made from Barron's Gold.
And no rebound is key there with traffic coming hard to the blue paint, and he's able to squeeze that right arm, and as we get the nice replay here, just squeeze that right arm and hold on to it. Good job by Iowa State's defense as well, kind of protecting him and keeping the NIU forwards, out of harm's way. Nice job by Barron's Gold again to keep this 4-1.
Another excellent look from our new Trier goalie cam as Iowa State controls the draw. And Fanestein starts it up the other way. His shot goes wide. And here's a giveaway by Varallo. Iowa State can't capitalize. Varallo takes it back on the far side. Off the boards it goes, looking for Rybka. He has to reverse course. And Iowa State will dump back their own way so they can collect and start the rush once more. 3:45 to go in the middle period. Mahoney, his shot deflected. Varallo tries to just chip it out towards center ice for somebody to chase after. As the Huskies regain control. Smarkus loses the handle. Mahoney dumps it in. And a couple of Cyclones there to chase after it, but Huskies get to it first, which has really been a theme of this period. A good keep there from Ranger, goes D to D. Into the slot, works it in, and I think that hit the crossbar or the post. I heard the iron for sure.
That was dangerously close to going in. Goaltender never saw it. It went top shelf, hit the crossbar, and deflected out of play. There was lots of traffic in front, and Finneman was looking left, he was looking right. He couldn't find the puck right away, and that snapper just hit the crossbar. It was a really good chance there for Iowa State.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes the post or the crossbar for the goalie is their best friend. That was one of those instances for sure.
Him on the back right now, thanking him.
Penn Roswell fighting for it on the near side. It comes through for Iowa State. Ethan Ranger. And a nice keep from the Cyclones, or at least it was momentarily. Instead, it's Lekwinski sending it back the other way, looking for Roswell. Tries a backhander, sharp angle, and it's saved by the shoulder of Barron's Gold. It's Ethan Ranger getting it taken from him in the neutral zone. And the loose puck is finally corralled by Lekwinski. He gets it up ahead to Roswell. And Russell's shot just misses. A nice save from Barron's goal as the shots on goal are really starting to add up for NIU. Here's another one and another save with the waffle board. Another shot, point blank, rebound, fought for, and covered up from Barron's goal. And now the Cyclones are defending their net.
What a period by Noah Barron's goal, man. Again, right there, 2 point blankers that he made. Really nice, as you mentioned, Anthony, a really nice blocker save. We'll see if we can get a replay here of it. Yeah, I think it's right here. Yeah, just sticking that blocker out, trekking it all the way. And again, a third one here, all in the same sequence.
Crazy.
Insane, man. You got to give him a lot of credit. He's out there fighting and battling for the boys and trying to keep them in this. And, you know, Chris mentioned the energy kind of shifting towards Iowa State again, and you definitely notice that. They're on their toes. They're hunting in the offensive zone and forcing turnovers, and you're starting to see those chances starting to pile up for Iowa State now.
And it's hard to not build momentum when your goaltender is making saves like
Absolutely.
that.
You have to play for him now because he's keeping you in it.
Far side, it gets taken away, chipped up ahead. We've got a 2-on-1 for the Huskies. Zimmerman to the right. Smith's shot goes wide. I think Barron's Gold might have got a piece of that one as well. Out in front it comes, Smith fighting for it, and it's the Cyclones wrapping it back around. They might have numbers if they speed it up. Into the neutral zone they come and dump onto the near side. Chased after by the Cyclones, almost a giveaway out in front, and it's recovered by Samuel Eaton. He gets it taken from him right away, and it's going to be a penalty on the Huskies.
And when you're forechecking really hard the way that that Iowa State has been for the last 7 or 8 minutes here, these types of mistakes are going to happen. The turnover leads to a penalty, and now you have 1:24 left in the second period, and a really, really good opportunity to cut this lead down to 2 heading into the break. But either way, let's get this set up. Try and create some chances. Like I said, the momentum is on your side now. They should be feeling pretty good, pretty confident, and if you can get one here, you're very much back in this game.
Cameron Pathana, the offender once more, his second penalty of today's contest for an Iowa State penalty. Northern Illinois was able to kill the first one. We'll see if Iowa State has an answer. 4-1 is our score. That shot deflected out in front. It's loose. Gets through in the slot, and now coming back the other way with a little bit of speed is Micah Maldonado. Fires one to the net and a save made from Barron's Gold. Not the type of chance that you want to allow when you're on the power play.
Yeah, just a tough bounce there after the initial chance there for Iowa State, and then all of a sudden it's going the other way, but good shorthanded save there.
Shot on the near side gets blocked by Tamarcus. Iowa State tries to get it across. This is Michael Mulkerin. Gets it down behind the net. Back to Mulkerin. He drives in with it. His shot gets blocked once again. Tamarcus looks like he's in a little bit of pain, but he's made 2 outstanding blocks. That shot goes in. That was Hender. Hender sent it from right around the All-State logo, and it finds its way to the back of the net. A huge swing for the Cyclones.
Yeah, after a few huge blocks by the Huskies, Hender's able to find a little lane and just go below the blocker of Finneman. And again, as I mentioned, such a massive goal with literally just under 30 seconds in the period. And just like that, this is a 2-goal hockey game, and Iowa State's very much in it. I've really liked the last 7 or 8 minutes that they've played. Now let's see if NIU can follow up.
27.5 to go in the period. Go ahead, Chris.
Very solid power play. They were moving the puck very well. You could tell they were sticking to their power play system. They didn't get frustrated by a couple of really nice shot blocks. They just stuck with the process, and finally they found the back of the net. Just very precise operation on that man advantage for the Cyclones.
No doubt, and you kind of sensed all that momentum changing. And Mike mentioned how important it would be for Iowa State to get some of that momentum or potentially score before the break, and they almost had another chance there. This shot never got through, and that'll do it for the second period of play. Iowa State gave up 2 early ones, and then the whole rest of the period was just recapturing that momentum.
Absolutely. They did such a good job responding, and as Coach Jonas said during the break, this is a young group and they're an emotional group, so finding a way to kind of navigate that and come back and start pressuring and creating turnovers and doing all the little things right, that leads to that momentum and eventually leads to the goal that makes this a 2-goal hockey game.
Without a doubt, but you can't talk about this period without also mentioning the 2 quick goals scored at the beginning from the Huskies. Broden Oswald got the first one, but then the beautiful stretch pass to Walker Smith, and he was able to get it past Barron's Gold. That was an outstanding play.
Very nice. Yeah. Again, we mentioned it during the break. These guys are extremely skilled, and it's hard to keep them off the score sheet. So it's going to be really important for them coming out in the third for that group to continue that and get back to what they were doing towards the end of the first period and at the start of the second.
And it looks like we are going to be hearing from Northern Illinois' head coach Michael Bangs during this intermission as he's making his way up to the broadcast booth. We're going to take a quick break on Marquee Sports Network. Right now, the score is 4-2 Northern Illinois after 2 periods of play. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Doherty. Welcome to the Marquee Sports Network and the SHL Network. We are live here in Rosemont, Illinois at the All-State Ice Arena. I am joined by NIU coach Doug Lukin. Doug, thanks for joining me here. Give me a little thought on the first couple periods here. Obviously, you guys seem to get off to a really good start. Good start to the second there. Seemed like Iowa State was pushing back a little to that period.
Yeah, it's a very hard-fought game so far. Iowa State's a very good team, very aggressive, very physical, well coached, but our guys are up for it. And so we played them several times already this year. Haven't come out on top, but we're battling today, and puck seems to be going our way.
What was the message to the group coming in? Obviously, they got the better of you last night, and this is a team you guys seem to. Is it like a matchup thing? You guys seem to struggle against this team. What do you think is like kind of leads to that struggle?
Not really a matchup, so to speak. We're just really battling today more. We let in a few goals yesterday in front of our own net, so we cleaned that up today, and seems to be working out for us. We're getting some bounces, and obviously we got a couple of stretch passes there that worked out in our favor.
Really nice, yeah.
So we're just trying to keep it simple and just keep battling.
One thing I noticed too, we talked about it on the broadcast a little, is your D. Obviously, their gaps are very good, but their sticks are very active.
Yep.
Especially on the rush
Yep.
as they're entering their own zones. Is that something you guys work on? Is that
Yes.
something you guys are talking a lot about in the room?
Yes, we've improved on that this year tremendously.
It's apparent. It's really noticeable.
Yeah, we are trying to close our gaps very early when they get into the O-zone there. So we're trying to step up just across the blue line so that we're trying to take them. So we've really improved on that this year and over the past couple of weeks, I guess, we've really kind of tightened that up a lot more.
Yeah. All right. Talk to me a little bit about this experience. I talked to Iowa State's head coach Jonas a little bit about it too, but just talk to me a little bit about how cool of an experience this is for you guys. Obviously, they come play ACHA. You're not expecting to play in an
Right.
arena like this, so just kind of give me thoughts on how awesome it's been partnering with the Wolves.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, the Wolves have been a great partner for us. I'm new to the program this year at NIU, but obviously watched the game last year. But it's a great experience for the kids and the families and all of that come out. The Wolves treat us very well, and I think it's just kind of a very cool thing for the players to get to do. Me growing up playing hockey, I never really had a chance to do any of this, so it's cool for a coach, obviously, to be here too. But for the players, I think it's really kind of a cool thing. And one of the things I talked to him about was just kind of enjoy the day, enjoy the experience.
Absolutely.
In addition to obviously being ready to play.
Yeah, right. It's hard. You got to find that balance, right?
Yeah.
Enjoying it, but also you got to play a hockey game and come away with a win
Exactly.
too.
Exactly.
Talk to me a little bit. Obviously, you said you're new to the program, but I talked to Coach Jonas as well. Obviously, when you're NIU's a pretty established club hockey program in the country, and I just want to kind of get thoughts on how do you guys focus on recruiting and things like that? Obviously, being in the Chicago area, there's no shortage of hockey around
Right.
here. So, is that something that you guys pay attention to throughout the year, or is it something you pay attention to once the season ends?
No. We're paying attention to it throughout the year. We are looking at specific junior programs and junior leagues that we're targeting to get the quality and the caliber of player that we really want on our team.
Are there a handful of kids on this team that have played junior hockey as well?
Yes.
Coach Jonas said there aren't too many on his team. So
Yes, there
I was
are a
curious
number
for you
of
guys.
players that we've recruited out of juniors as well, and we're going to continue to do that, and that's going to be our focus going forward. And so we're continuing to do that. It's not something that we just focus on at the end of the year. It's something that we're continuing to look at throughout the year. We attend showcases. In fact, I'm going to one next week in Minnesota as well, and I know there's one
Very
in
nice.
Chicago. So we're going to continue to
Is
do
that
that.
an NA? NAL?
The
showcase?
the NA3 is the
Okay.
one I'm going to in
Yeah, they do-
Minnesota, and then the USPHL I think has
They
got
do a
one
great
here.
job. I know a couple of those leagues do a great job with those showcases, kind
Yes.
of giving those kids a chance to be seen by, obviously from ACHA D3 all the way up to Division One as well.
Yes.
Yes. Last question. I just want to get thoughts. Obviously, you gave one up late there in the second
Yep.
period. What's kind of the focus here going into the third? Like I said, it seemed like you guys had control of the game for the most part,
Right.
and just in the last 6-7 minutes there, Iowa State started to push. So what's kind of the message to the team?
Stay out of the box.
Stay out of the box, yeah.
Stay out of the box.
They have a good power play. It seemed
Yes.
like they kind of settled in on that second one, and the one earlier in the game they were still. You guys
Yes.
did a good job, but it seemed like that one they got a bit more settled.
We are obviously much more successful 5-on-5 than when we're spending time in the box and killing penalties. So our message is definitely to stay out of the box. That's what our message was earlier in the pregame and all that. So we're continuing to preach that because that's when we're at our best.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for joining
Yep.
me. Good luck.
Thank you.
We will be right back on Marquee Sports Network for this third period. We will be right back.
Welcome back to the All-State Arena in the second intermission of this contest between Northern Illinois and Iowa State. Northern Illinois on top 4-2 after 40 minutes of play. My name's Anthony Pasquale alongside Mike Doherty. And Mike, just watching those first two periods of play, what sticks out to you the most?
For NIU, I think it's going to be it's how they're going to respond. Obviously, giving up a goal with less than a minute can be really deflating for a team. So I think they've done a really good job. Obviously, we're talking to Coach Doug Luke in there. They've done a really good job in the neutral zone, kind of preventing the transition game from Iowa State, not giving up too many chances on the rush, which can be very difficult to do. But they've done a really good job of that. So I expect that to continue, and maybe trying to transition from those turnovers that they're creating in the neutral zone and try to create some offense from it. And when it comes to Iowa State, I mean, Chris was mentioning, and we talked about it a little bit, of that energy that they had at the start of the game, and it started to come back there at the end of that period. And when I was coaching hockey, we always called that like playing with jam. Getting on your toes, hunting pucks, winning battles, winning puck races. All those little things can really add up, especially when you're struggling. You're down 4-1. But the biggest storyline, in my opinion, is the goaltending, like you mentioned in the last intermission. Both goalies standing on their heads, making some great saves, and obviously Iowa State keeping them in it. So we'll see if that continues. But both goaltenders have played extremely well in the first two periods.
Absolutely. I mean, you can go back to some of the saves made specifically in the last maybe 4 minutes of that second period. This game could be like 6-4 right now if it wasn't for some of those saves. But the thing I want to ask, and I feel like, especially as a coach, you might have noticed something a little bit more, is when a team's down 3 and now down 2, obviously they're at a sense of urgency offensively that maybe they weren't at the beginning of the game. And one of the things we've seen from Iowa State is they're getting their defensemen involved a little bit more offensively. But the counterpoint to that is NIU has ended up with some odd man rushes. Iowa State obviously needs to keep up the intensity offensively, but how do they avoid those breakaway plays for Northern Illinois that it seems like the Huskies are looking for?
And they'll make you pay on them,
right,
with the talent level that they have. But I think it's decision making, making sure you're 100% on these plays. And once you commit, you got to go. You can't halfway. So making sure when the puck's there, if you're going to win that puck, you commit and you go. And if not, you back off and you live to fight another day. You don't want to be giving up too many odd man breaks to this team because they'll make you pay for it. Luckily, Barron's Gold has played extremely well in this game and has been able to thwart some of those chances. But I definitely think that you're 100% right. As this game progresses, the just in any hockey game that you play, the sense of urgency just continues to rise as the game kind of moves forward. Especially when you're down 3, it's even higher.
Yeah.
So when you're coming into this third, you have plenty of time. You're only down 2. If you get 1 early, then you're just one shot away then. So you don't need to get too crazy. You don't need to take too many chances. But as the game moves on, if you're still down 2 at the 10-9 minute mark left in the game, that's when you're going to have to start taking some risks and try to push the envelope a little bit more.
Yeah, and we saw Iowa State get off to that really good start at the beginning of the first period, and then we saw them close the second period with such juice offensively. But it's like that middle point of both periods that Northern Illinois just completely took control. What does Iowa State need to do to make sure that doesn't happen here in the third?
Well, like Coach Jonas said in the last intermission, it's just focusing on their game and not steering away from it, right? When you come into these games, you have a game plan, you have an idea and an identity that you know what you need to do in order to get a win. So if you're Iowa State coming out for this third period, we need to make sure that we go out with that mindset, making sure that that's what we're going to go do. That we're going to play our game, we're going to play it our way. If we don't come out with the 2 points, at least we did it, playing the style that we know that we need to play.
And then for Northern Illinois, they currently hold a 2-goal lead against a team that they're 0-3 against so far this year. What do they need to do to protect that lead?
Well, I think obviously if Iowa State's jumping and you get odd man breaks, you got to capitalize on them. I think
and they've done a great job of that.
Yeah, they've had a handful that they haven't been able to capitalize on as well. So I think it's going to be really important for them. Obviously, keep your foot on the gas. There's no reason to sit back at this point. Obviously, it's only a 2-goal lead, so you want to really make sure that you're capitalizing on these chances. And to counteract what Iowa State's doing, you don't want to pinch. You don't want to take any chances on D. You don't want to be giving up odd man breaks for Iowa State. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how these coaches bring these teams out and the adjustments that they make.
Absolutely. 20 minutes left in this one, or at least in regulation, we should say. Can never be too certain. Third period coming up after a quick break on Marquee Sports Network. Welcome back for the third period of action here at the All-State Arena, home of the Chicago Wolves. Northern Illinois and Iowa State, an ACHA matchup. NIU on top 4-2 through 2 periods of play. I'm Anthony Pasquale with Mike Doherty and Chris Dubiel down at ice level as we get set for the third period of action here on Marquee Sports Network and the SHL Network as well. Before we get it going, join the Wolves and Vitalant at their semi-annual blood drive on December 20th. As a thank you for donating blood, you will receive a limited edition t-shirt and a chance to win a jersey signed by the entire Chicago Wolves team. Visit vitalant.org/wolves to schedule your appointment today. Waiting for one last player to get on the ice. There he is. It's the goaltender, Noah Barons Gold. Can't start without him.
They're going to need him.
They certainly are. They've leaned on him heavy late in that second period. And I think that's part of what grabbed their momentum, is realizing he's, keeping us in this game. He's making some huge saves. It's our turn to respond. And they scored late on the man advantage and had some good momentum to potentially add the third goal. NIU finds himself with that most dangerous lead in hockey, up 4-2 as we get things going in the third period. Here's a quick centering pass from Samuel Eaton, and instead it gets fought all the way forward for Northern Illinois, who we anticipate to also keep their foot on the gas as we get started in the third period. Behind the net it goes, wrapped back around. Shot through the crease. Here's Harley. Almost gets it taken away, and it does get taken away. Here comes Smith on the near side. Tries to drag it through one man, still fighting. Gets in alone. His shot is saved by Barron's Gold. But a great effort from Smith to fight through a couple of defensive efforts from Gabe Myers and get a shot on net for the Huskies. That one poked away as NIU recovers. Vanestein picked up an assist on that goal from Hender late in the second period. But his pass ends up coming all the way back. And it'll be touched forward by Malkarin, who drives through the neutral zone but loses the handle. Off the far side boards it comes. Iowa State touches back up, but that allows NIU to reclaim possession of the puck in the early going of the third period.
Yeah, good start to the period for NIU. Yeah, I'd imagine we're going to see a lot of that. Just chipping pucks in, making 100% plays. When you have a lead, you just want to make sure you're getting pucks below the goal line and not making any crucial turnovers. We call it the 10-foot rule on each blue line. On your defensive blue line, or when you're 5 feet short, you want to make sure you're clearing it. And when you're 5 feet short of the offensive blue line, you want to make sure you're getting it deep and not making any turnovers in either of those crucial areas of the ice.
There you see on your screen some of our sponsors here at the SHL Network. This third period is sponsored by Glenbrook North Hockey. Goalie Cam sponsored by New Trier, and make sure you stick around after the game for the post-game interview. Chris Dubiel will grab either a coach or a player from the winning team or both, and that interview is brought to you by Loyola Academy Hockey. And that Loyola team is one we'll see on the SHL Game of the Week coming up soon. Puck still loose out in front, and a big deflection from Van Vooters. Here it comes. That was Ranger just losing the handle of it in the slot, and the Huskies bring it back the other way. Looks like Ripka with some speed. Pardon me, that's Souza. And we saw him and the type of shot that he can create. First goal of the game for the Huskies was a beautiful bar-down wrister. Condyles drops it back. That shot saved with the waffle board, but it's still loose for the Cyclones. D-to-D pass trickles out of the zone. They'll have to reset. Benjamin Fanestein dumps it in to be chased after.
Both teams trying to avoid too many men there.
And there was a point with probably about 12 or 13 guys on the ice there. But as long as the puck doesn't go right over there. Here's a centering pass. Oh, what a save again. Finneman had the pad in the right spot, denies yet another goal. Another save right off the chest. Here's a slapper. That one barely misses the net, deflects up wide. And it goes out of play. A much-needed whistle, I think, for the Huskies.
Yeah, a couple of really, really nice saves by Finneman. Iowa State getting some good possession time, good zone time, moving the puck low to high, getting the shot through a screen. They had the point blanker in front of the net. Just a variety of opportunities for Iowa State, but Finneman just very rock solid in that crease.
Another centering pass just misses the stick of Trevor Slatt, who picked up an assist on that goal that Hender scored late in the second period. 4-2 is our score. That one gets all the way to the net, and it's blocked away with the stick from Finneman. It seems like one of the things that the Cyclones are trying to focus on here in the third is getting some traffic there in front of Finneman.
Absolutely, and Chris mentioned it, kind of working it low to high, but they're doing a really good job below the goal line of winning these pucks, and that's opening up a lot of passing lanes for them. I've really liked this is a nice little push for Iowa State here to start this period. They're all over them, and credit to Finneman, he's standing tall in that, as Chris mentioned, to keep this 2-goal lead for the Huskies.
No doubt they win the draw once more and get it behind the goal line once again.
You see the D here pinching again. I like that.
And you mentioned that it only works if that whole cycle kind of completes, and it looked like Iowa State did a good job there. Let's see if NIU can capitalize on this 2-on-1. Rybka gets it right out in front, and it deflects wide, right by the Grillo's Pickles sign on the far side boards, and here come the Cyclones. Into the slot. That shot just misses the post with it. Mulkerin chases after. He's doing some great work behind the goal line. Gets it to Pagel. And it's back to Mulkerin. His shot right into the glove. Probably a wise decision to freeze that one for Finneman as they continue to be on the ropes in the defensive end.
Yeah, if I'm Finneman, I'm covering everything that I can at this point. You just don't want to get stuck, right? You want to give your guys, you want to make sure you're getting fresh legs on the ice, especially with Iowa State pushing the way that they are. You just want to really make sure that you're giving your guys the best chance to continue to hold this lead here. Important few minutes here for both teams. Obviously, NIU trying to hold on to this lead and Iowa State trying to cut into it. But the next 2 or 3 are going to be really important for both teams.
And I guess as a coach, I'd love to kind of pick your brain on this. When do you advise goaltenders to play the puck or freeze the puck? Because I know sometimes you just want to avoid those zone draws, but other times you want to control the rebounds, right?
It depends on the level I'm coaching at, probably. If it's a goalie that's comfortable playing the puck, I don't mind him playing it a little bit more. But for the most part, in my opinion, I just like him to cover it. Like we'll live to fight another day, and we'll take a D zone draw and try to win it. But you just don't want to make any crucial mistakes in that key area around the blue paint, trying to make an extra play or drop it to a D and that's not paying attention, who thinks the play's over. You just don't want to have any of those unfortunate situations. And if it's a goaltender that's comfortable playing the puck, though, I don't mind him playing it a little bit more.
That'll go the length of the ice for an icing. Win the holidays this year with what every fan on your list wants. A new Wolves sweatshirt. Great giftable hoodies for men, women, and kids, along with the full line of team jerseys, apparel, and souvenirs are available now at ChicagoWolvesStore.com. NIU has had such a hard time exiting their zone. It's that forecheck that we saw for the probably first 8 to 10 minutes of that first period is certainly back for Iowa State.
They're pushing hard, and they're making it very difficult, like you mentioned, on the NIU defense. Making that first pass. The first pass is so crucial on your breakouts. You want to make sure that you're trying to leave the zone with possession as a full unit, and they're doing a really, really good job of not allowing NIU to do that.
And I wonder if there's a certain element of knowing that this is a team that you've beat 3 times this year that just kind of instills a little bit of belief of, this one's not over. We know we can beat these guys.
And conversely, for NIU, that's in the back of your mind right now.
Monkey on the back a little bit, right?
It's just that little seed of doubt maybe, but we'll see if they give a little push back here. This period's been pretty much all Iowa State.
That was Walker Smith. His shot just misses the up post. I think it got blocked out in front. NIU, we've mentioned some of their offensive threats, trying to get them going here. Here's Zimmerman firing one to the net. He scores right on cue. Robbie Zimmerman, his 15th of the season, gives NIU a 3-goal advantage.
Yeah, we've talked about him all afternoon. He factored into that breakaway goal, and this is a really nice shot. Just below the glove, above that left pad on that far side. So hard for the goaltenders to make that save. Looks like we're going to get a goalie change here for Iowa State. Yeah, we mentioned during the intermission, it looked like they were going to pull him a little bit earlier, but looks like they're going to make that change here. 13 and a half minutes left. They're only down 3, but that was a really nice shot by Zimmerman to extend this lead, and kind of a backbreaker for Iowa State as well.
Yeah, especially when they had some momentum. This looks like number 29, William Pinney, skating out in between the pipes. They'll give him a second to get loose. He's 4-10-1 on the year, has a 90% save percentage. Just been on the bad end of a few close games for the Cyclones. But sometimes with Barron's Gold and with goaltenders that get pulled, it's not necessarily that they didn't play well, because Barron's Gold certainly kept his team in the
my
game.
gosh.
Oh, what a check. Right into the bench.
I don't think I've seen that on TV. I don't think I've ever seen that live. That was crazy that he just got absolutely buried into the NIU bench. I'm not sure which Iowa State player that was.
All
but
you could
I think
see.
Chris probably had a pretty good angle of that down there.
Had a great look at it, and NIU, with a lot of restraint, they just kind of held him there, and then they
Dangerous
eventually
play.
gave
That's
him
good.
the push back out. But what a hit, just upending the man over the bench.
Look at this. Skates skyward there.
Yeah, all you could see was the bottom of Braden Bueller's skates. He looks to be all right and back on his team's bench where he belongs, but that was a decleater without a doubt.
That was crazy.
More physicality there in the neutral zone, but just touching back on what we were saying, Barron's Gold made some excellent saves today.
They wouldn't be in this game if it wasn't for Noah Barron's Gold. So you got to give him a lot of credit. An incredible second period for sure. Made some really nice saves to keep Iowa State hanging around, and obviously they felt they needed to make a change. So now we got William Pinney in that. So we'll see how he does to finish this game off.
And going back to that last 2-on-1 that Zimmerman was able to cash in on, he already has 2 assists today. I think that was part of the reason he was able to get such a clean shot off, right?
Yeah, they're trying to favor that pass. I think when you're defending a 2-on-1, is Iowa State getting close? When you're defending a 2-on-1, the defender is basically told, do not allow that pass to come through, and you just trust the goaltender is going to make the save. Obviously, sometimes they don't, but that's kind of the thought process. So, with Zimmerman, it's hard to defend because he's such a threat both ways. So you really can't win. But either way, really nice job by him to finish, and a true goal scorer's goal to pick that far side.
Shot right into the glove. Finneman has picked up some more saves here to begin the period. That was the 29th shot on goal for Iowa State, and Finneman has stopped 27 of them.
Yeah, I'll be interested to hear from Chris at some point too what the Iowa State bench is looking like right now. I'm sure the energy's shifted a bit since giving up that last one.
And you'd imagine that the NIU bench is pretty loud and proud, especially after having a cyclone upended right in front of them.
You know, it's funny. This NIU team is just so even keel, at least when they're on the bench. Like, I've kept an eye on them. When they're down, when they're struggling, it's the same as how they are when they're winning. You'll get a few stick taps along the bench, but it's a very reserved but calm and cool group. And the Iowa State bench, you still have the energy. There's still the stick taps going. They're staying in the game, but maybe that's been dampened a little bit by that last goal by NIU.
Keaton Peters gets a hold of it here. And it's Rybka fighting through with Peters. Peters has it on his tape, tries the centering pass, and it gets cleared away. Pinney has not yet to make a save, but he made a few nice poke checks to keep the puck out of harm's way. This puck out in front after a snapshot from Molkerin was stopped by Finneman, and it ended up being loose right in front before it was cleared down. No icing. It gets waved off, and we play on. The Cyclones desperately looking to cut into this lead. They've got to act faster now that they're down 3. Nice save once again from Finneman, and the puck comes to NIU to send up the other way. A 2-on-1 if they hurry, just unable to get the puck to the streaking man in the slot. There it comes right in front of the net, and it's fought for near center ice all the way back the other way. And it's Pathana slipping and falling. Iowa State able to start their own possession. 2-on-1 for NIU the other way. Backhanded centering pass just misses the stick of Zimmerman, and he couldn't corral the bouncing puck as Iowa State tries to move up the other way and get some offense going as they trail by 3 with about halfway to go in the third period. Looking for a backdoor feed, trying to get it to Ethan Ranger, and NIU will dump it right in, go for a quick change, and like you said, now that they're protecting a 3-goal lead, they could be a little bit more conservative with the dump and chase.
Definitely. Now let's get over the red and get it deep and avoid any neutral zone turnover whatsoever.
Board battle on the near side. Gabe Myers took a couple of tumbles down to the ice, and he's still fighting for it there. Brandt has it on the far side, and he's pinned up against the boards by Van Voorhis. To center ice it goes. Zimmerman with some speed, trying to get it behind Harley. Zimmerman's out there with Smith and Morgan, a good keep. Extends the possession for NIU. Smith will chase it on the near side. Where's the A on his sweater? And I think Morgan, 28 in black, has the C. Centering pass, good stick out in front, keeping it in the passing lane. I remember watching Hawks games when I was a kid, and that was one of the first things that Eddie Olczyk always said, keep your stick on the ice.
Absolutely. Yeah, I touched on it with Coach Doug Lucan of the NIU, one of the NIU assistant coaches, about that. And he mentioned how it's been a point of focus for this team over the last few weeks and how they've improved so much just in the last handful of weeks at breaking those plays up and using their sticks to their advantage to defend in dangerous areas as much as possible.
Fought for by Smith on the near side. Like to give a big thank you to both of those coaches for joining us here during those intermission reports. NIU taking as much time as they can to get the puck out of their zone. As we're at about 8 minutes to go in this contest as NIU looks for their 17th win of the season and that elusive first in 4 matchups against these Cyclones. Sousa flips it behind Penny's net. Penny's goalie pads are that gold-yellow color that the Cyclones sport. Seems like some of that early momentum from Iowa State has certainly been stifled lately. See if they're able to recapture it. Looks like we've got an offside.
Yeah, and NIU again right here, breaking up that play right at the blue line, right? Just getting a little bit of a step and not allowing Iowa State to create on the rush. That makes it very difficult for a team to generate some momentum, especially down 3, 7.5 minutes left in the third period here. It makes it really difficult. You just have to try to chip it in, but when you're down 3, that's the last thing you want to be doing. You want to try and create chances. So it makes it really hard for the team that's behind to create chances when they're defending that way.
Once again, flip to center from Northern Illinois. And they get it back behind their own net. Van Vortis will chip ahead with it, looking for Rybka, and it's picked off in the passing lane. Andrew Fanny, and that one's chipped up out of play.
Yeah, you've definitely noticed the speed has kind of dwindled a bit here in the last, as you mentioned, in the last few minutes. Both teams kind of just settling in, but you got to expect Iowa State to give a little bit of a push here in the next 2 or 3 minutes to try to at least get one and give yourself a chance. But credit to NIU, man. They're doing a great job not giving Iowa State much.
7:07 to go in this contest. NIU up by 3. Iowa State certainly has their work cut out for them to complete a dramatic comeback here down the stretch. Here's Ranger. Off the far side boards, tried to feed it to his teammate Ethan Ranger. Both Rangers fighting in the board battle. And Myers chips one to the far side corner looking for somebody. Iowa State has the right idea with these centering passes. They're just having trouble finding tape. Here's Myers firing one, and it got blocked out in front. Harley missed it. Ranger keeps it in. Myers back to Harley. Harley ranging to his left. Wraps it around the net, looking for somewhere to go with the puck. Up to the other circle. Now he reverses course. Cuts into the slot, and Myers is there to reclaim the loose puck. Centering pass again. Just missing the stick of Ranger. And here's Rybka touching it forward. Varallo just gets a stick on it. And now here comes Keaton Peters. A couple of bodies crash down to the ice. He's able to send one on net. Penny stops it. It's loose again in the slot. And that one gets deflected away from Lekwinski. Penny made the first save that he's had to keep this at a 3-goal game for Iowa State. That shot just misses the post and deflects behind the net. There to keep it, Sturm. And it's chimped in by Pathana. Backhanded centering pass did find somebody, but nobody was expecting the puck.
Yeah, nice look there. Almost a point blank right in front of the net by himself. Unable to corral it.
Lucas Sturm there to recover the puck. About 5:15 left in this one. Iowa State has to act quickly. Off the near side boards for Quinski. And a good job to keep it in by Pathana. Here comes the Cyclones the other way. Reed Wilson with a bit of speed through the neutral zone. His shot deflects and almost caromed in. He's there to get his own rebound. Reed Wilson stops. Tries to ring it in. Point blank shot. Big save from Finneman. Mahoney was alone right out in front, and Finneman denied.
Yeah, what a save by Finneman. Chris, go ahead.
How many times have we seen Finneman make a save where he's just in the right spot? Like, he barely has to move, and he makes a huge save.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Iowa State again. Finneman, another great save. Falls back into the net, trying to stop it, and it looks like he was able to save the puck. Another one of the Huskies dove into the net to try to keep it out of harm's way. Mike, what do you see?
Yeah, it looked like he got past him and he reached back with that blocker hand. Jimmy the Wiz is gonna give us another look at it here. Yeah, see it gets right. It's kind of blocked by the middle post of the net, but that puck did get behind him, and credit to him, man, keeping his composure, reaching back and able to corral that puck and bring it in and keep the 3-goal lead. We'll see how aggressive Jonas Hostevecki is on the bench for Iowa State if he's gonna, try and pull Penny here at some point. Obviously down 3. You see more and more NHL teams doing that. Looks like we're going to have a penalty here.
And that was a really good rush for Iowa State, too, just getting some pucks on net. Now they're going to come away with a power play. If you could score relatively quickly on this power play, then it's a 2-goal lead. You would pull no matter what, right?
Yeah, I think you pull them right here. I think I would.
Go 6-on-4?
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, you're down 3. There's 4 minutes left. Like, if you want to try to win, I think that's the right move. But it's one of those things where if you lose the draw, the game could be over just like that. So
yeah, it looks like Penny's waiting to see if they get possession, and now he's heading toward the net.
He's going now, yeah.
Or excuse me, toward the bench.
That's a smart move. I like that play. I like that move by Coach Jonas Hostevecki.
6-on-4, man advantage plus the extra attacker. Iowa State does have a goal on the power play earlier in this contest.
And I would expect NIU to be very aggressive shooting at that empty net here shorthanded. You've got nothing to lose without the offensive zone draw coming back into your territory. So
yeah, you don't have to worry about icing the puck here because it is a penalty kill, which is a good point. 6-on-4, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this contest. 1 minute and 17 seconds left on the power play. Fanestein wraps it around. Iowa State behind the net, trying to find somewhere to go with the puck. Mahoney looking for somewhere to go with it over to Hender. He's been a goal scorer. His shot doesn't get through. One-timer blocked out in front. And it gets deflected all the way down. Again, not an icing, a race for it.
Wow.
A diving effort from both players, not able to get it to the back of the net. Iowa State there to deny.
Here we go. They got numbers here.
Mueller still behind the play. Hender loses the handle, tries to center it, had a man, but he didn't control it. We've got another penalty, and I think this is also going to be on NIU. Could we have a 6-on-3?
That's what we're going to get. There was a retaliatory shot, little punch thrown from J.J. Mueller, and they caught it. So 5-on-3 will likely turn into 6-on-3 once they get the netminder off again, but they got to make sure they win the draw. There's a big spot here in this hockey game. All of a sudden, it's not quite over yet.
35 seconds left on the initial infraction by Ryan Morgan. A full 2 minutes up there with Mueller on the bench. And since they won the draw, they are going to go 6-on-3. Should be some great chances here for the Cyclones.
You got to work quick, though. You want to get it on the first penalty, not the second.
Harley. It's got Myers on the near side. Myers down low. Got to start working toward the net soon.
Yep.
Myers wrapping it behind the net, looking for somewhere to go with it. All three Huskies are pinched in tight. And it's given back. That shot. What a save made with the glove.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things that, this is not something that you're ever going to practice in practice, the 6-on-3 situation. So there's just like a lot of guys on the ice. And, for me, when you're running a 5-on-3 or a 6-on-3, you really shouldn't do a lot of skating. We saw Iowa State kind of, moving around with the puck. For me, the puck moves faster than you do. So I like to just move it around as quickly as you can. Try to get the defenders to try to jump and make a mistake.
And
open
get
up
out
a
of
lane.
that little triangle right
Exactly.
in front of the
Trying
net.
to break that up or find a lane to create, like we saw them try to go through that seam to the weak side, but you didn't pass it to set it up to give you that lane. So I think that I'd imagine that's probably the biggest talking point on that bench for Iowa State is let's move this puck around quickly, try to create lanes, and that'll open a lot more things up for us.
No doubt about it. They're definitely trying to move that puck quickly, and they're going to use the extra attacker to keep a little bit of support up high, just in case
Right.
a pass gets deflected up top.
Keep the puck in the zone in case.
Only 3 seconds left on the first penalty, so Pinney is back in his net, which I assume he will stay until Iowa State has full control of the puck and Morgan or whoever for Northern Illinois is back in the play, because you don't want to create a breakaway that way. And it looks like
Yeah, I'd take him now.
now it's 5-on-4 currently, as the first penalty has been killed by the Huskies. Pinney waiting for the call to come off the ice. Under 2 minutes to play, and Hender wraps it back
Gotta
around
go.
one time. I was going to say you're down by 3.
Wasting a lot of time.
Got to start moving north and south, and it's deflected by the Huskies. No doubt Zimmerman involved there in a board battle on the far side. The goalie has been pulled. There's an extra attacker and a man advantage. It's 6-on-4 in favor of the Cyclones, 5-2 in favor of NIU. Behind the net it comes. Iowa State shot deflected out in front. It's loose and covered up by the netminder Finneman. And he's going to have to do that quite a bit in the last 80 or so seconds to secure this win.
Just a great shoulder shrug save there before he could cover it up. And now we got some rough stuff in the cage.
Yeah, they're going at it down there. I'd imagine we're going to get a couple of guys kicked out here. There's a ref is on the ice, bear hugging him, trying to stop these guys from throwing punches. A couple of helmets came off, but
it was Michael Molkerin and Keaton Peters, the two players that were involved in that skirmish that went into the net.
yeah, we're gonna get
Here's
another
the
look
best
at it here.
Nutrier goalie cam you're going to see all season long.
Yeah, these are the ones we live
Look,
for right here.
he's fully in the net.
The poor ref.
And that's
Not
when he
much you
just
could do.
decided
Needs
to
his buddy
dive
to
on
come in
top
there.
of the pile and break it up.
Yeah. Chris mentioned it though. What a save by Finneman, and he mentioned it earlier. Chris, you mentioned it earlier too. How a handful of times he just seems to be in the right spot. You mentioned he got his shoulder on it, but that puck more just hit him because he's positioned correctly on that pass to the middle.
He's just very, very good at being square to the shooter, keeping the shoulders tall, the chest up, and then while doing that with the upper body, the pads are always sealing off the bottom of the net.
And it looks like you were right, Mike. We do have a few game misconducts or potentially just the 10-minute major penalties that they obviously have no way to come back into this game.
Unless something crazy happened down there that we couldn't see, I'd imagine that's just out for the game, and they'll be fine for the next one. But yeah, definitely a situation where you got to give those guys the boot, and that'll be the end of their afternoon here.
So it's 2-minute coincidental minors for roughing, and then 10-minute game misconduct penalties for fighting. But because there's a minute and 19 left on the clock, you just skate right off the ice.
Right to the locker room. Get the showers on early.
Yeah, right. Warm up the water.
Yeah.
1 minute and 19 seconds left. Pinney back in his net halfway.
Yeah, very
as the Cyclones try to win a draw here.
Very conservative from the Cyclones here. I think you just got to pull them, but he doesn't want to give up anything easy, so I understand. But I think when you're down 3, you just got to kind of live with it if it goes in.
I mean, what's losing by 4 versus 3?
Yeah. My thing too is on these, obviously you have the man advantage, but I like to have the goalie pulled to have that extra guy to go help win the puck, right?
Yeah, even if you don't win the draw, you could still go
Exactly.
win a
You
puck
have the
battle.
extra guy to, seal the boards on
Sure.
the far side or whatever. But when he's not out there, it doesn't do you any good. But so obviously they could win it and shoot it, and it's over. But
Iowa State wins the draw. Here comes the extra attacker. Here's Farley on the near side, walking in with it, looking for somewhere to go. They get a pass to the near side, right inside. He scores! That's Hender again. 2 goals, 2 games in a row.
and this is why I'm up here and not down there. That was perfect decision by Coach Jonas Hostevecki. Really nice play. You saw the extra attacker kind of getting out of the way of that pass. I thought it was going to hit his skate, but they're able to find that bumper in the middle, and just like that, it's a 2-goal hockey game. Obviously, a little over a minute left here. Win this puck, get it in deep, get that goalie pulled again.
That's
Now-
what a clean face-off win can
Yes.
do for you, too. They drew that back and snapped it around really quick.
Absolutely.
Both teams back to even strength. We're sure Iowa State will be pulling their goaltender in just a couple of seconds here, as we've got a
offsides.
offside call. But the clock never stopped. It winded down all the way to 54, but I think we had it at about 58 seconds here.
58, yep.
But you mentioned it too. The difference now is that you don't have the kind of buffer of the power play anymore.
Yes.
So now it's just a full regular extra skater that teams do practice now. So
Yeah.
Northern Illinois will be a little bit more ready for it.
Yes.
Both penalties are now over. They were able to score on the second one with Mueller in the box. Iowa State won the draw, and they chip it up ahead. And it comes back for Wilson. Reed Wilson passes it over to Fanestein, and he sends it forward. Goaltender still in the net. Penny has not left yet. And maybe here's why. Here come the Huskies the other way. Quick shot saved by the blocker. Hender gets slashed right at
Wow.
the midline. It looks like we are going to have another penalty. I spoke too soon. 27.7 to go. And we might have another 5-on-4 turning into 6-on-4 action.
NIU doing everything they can to keep Iowa State alive here. Another penalty at the blue line again. They've done a really good job of stepping up at that blue line and preventing that, but just got his hands in there a little bit too much, and he pulls them down. So another big opportunity. Again, Penny's still in the net. Big face-off here, as Chris mentioned on the last one. They were able to snap it back. Let's see if they're able to do it here. It's really important,
And
obviously.
they
to get
ran
that quick.
almost like a play with the extra attacker coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And they win a clean draw. Let's see if they draw the same thing up. Here it comes to Harley on the far side.
Looks like it. Same thing.
That one gets shot, blocked by his own man. Harley has it now. Wilson to his left. They've got to go quickly. Here's Mahoney. At this point,
Get it on net.
9 seconds left in the game.
Oh.
Hender behind the net. Harley shoots. It's loose out in front, stopped, and Northern Illinois comes away with the win. 5-3 the final, and they have finally beaten the Cyclones.
Yeah, I'm sure that's got to feel so good after losing 3 times to this team and finally getting a win. And to do it at, of all places, at Allstate Arena here, I'm sure it's an awesome moment for that team. And you got to give credit to the Cyclones, man. They never gave up. A few of the times we thought maybe the game was going to be over, but they hung right in there and they fought to the end. But credit to NIU and credit to Andrew Finneman, man. What a game by him! And
Absolutely.
That's a massive win for NIU, and I'm sure it'll give them a lot of confidence moving forward.
Yeah, they improve now to 17-10-1 as the Cyclones fall to 7-13-1 in men's Division I ACHA play. Iowa State got on the board first with that quick goal, and it was all NIU in response. The score got to 4-1. Then Iowa State came back a little bit. Final score 5-3. What are some of your thoughts there?
Yeah, again, great start for Iowa State in a game where obviously they're coming in with a lot of confidence after winning last night, but NIU obviously was able to push back and score 4 unanswered. And then Iowa State obviously get that goal with just under a minute left in the second period to give them some life, and they fought right to the end here in this third. And what an exciting game, though. A lot of action on both ends, some awesome saves, some big hits. This game really had everything.
We see Chris Dubiel dodging some traffic there on the ice as he
Like you
tries
said-
to secure the Loyola post-game interview here.
Like we said, everybody's got to keep their head on a swivel out here today.
Absolutely. Seems like we've got a beeline toward the netminder Finneman, excuse me, or potentially Robbie Zimmerman. And it looks like that's who we have. Chris standing by with Robbie Zimmerman. Another goal, a couple of assists, another 3-point night. Chris, take it away.
Yeah, we're with Robbie Zimmerman. You guys, you've been frustrated by Iowa State all season. They even kind of took it to you in the early part of the game, but you guys weathered that storm. How do you deal with a team that forechecks hard like that and just kind of flip the tide on them the way you did?
Game where we play teams like that, it comes down to momentum. And today we just had more momentum switches than them. We got on top of them early. You know, we're a big score first team, and when we score first, we build off that energy. So that came today, and they couldn't bounce back from it. We had them.
Just observing you guys on the bench, it just seems like you're very calm, cool, collected. There's no panic. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'd say pretty calm. I mean, when we get, I don't think it's in our favor usually. I think it usually hurts us when we get worked up. So staying calm, sitting down today, trying that out, it ended up working out for us.
And lastly, it seemed like anytime Iowa State had some pressure on you guys, you went the other way and just, I don't want to call them easy goals, but, you know, a shot from distance, a snipe to the top shelf, that seems to really kind of flip the momentum for you guys.
Right, yeah. We took advantage of the few opportunities we got today, and that's definitely why we won. I mean, just great support from everybody. Great team that we got here. I mean, we got a lot of talent on this team, so we're just building off that. Huge to finally get these guys, that's for sure.
Well, congrats on the win. Thanks, Robbie. Appreciate your time, and go celebrate with your teammates.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Chris, and a big thank you to Robbie Zimmerman for joining us for an interview there presented by Loyola Academy Hockey Club. And he kind of touched on it, but I think we could all kind of pinpoint what shifted for NIU, and it was the crazy wrister from Souza. Everything changed after that.
Yeah, that like got them into the game and gave them so much confidence, and you saw them start to kind of roll after that goal went in. So, yeah, great interview there by Chris, and awesome hearing from Zimmerman, who had an incredible game today. Obviously one of the better players on this NIU team, and he did not disappoint today.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a quick break on Marquee Sports Network to recap the action. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the All-State Arena as we recap a thrilling contest between Northern Illinois and Iowa State. 5-3 the final in favor of the Huskies. I'm Anthony Pasquale, once again joined by Mike Doherty. And Mike, one of the best traditions in hockey is the 3 stars of the game, so let's hear them.
Third star, I got Connor Souza. We talked about him a little bit at the end of that game, how important that goal was that he had. He's on that second line, and we talked about like depth scoring, and he provided that for them today. Second one is the guy we just interviewed, Robbie Zimmerman.
For sure.
An amazing game, 3 points, 2 assists in that goal at the end. Really great game by him, and I think there is no question that the first star of this game is Andrew Finneman, the goaltender for Northern Illinois. What a game, man. Chris mentioned a few times how he just seems to always be in the right spot.
Yeah.
And he did a great job of that today, and he's the reason why, in my opinion, they're coming away with the 2-goal lead and finally taking down this Iowa State Cyclones team.
Absolutely. Those are three excellent choices. It was a full team effort for Northern Illinois, but I don't think you could pinpoint any three better players to contribute to the victory, especially Finneman. And it feels like he performed like a shutout. Like the saves that he was able to make, especially late in the game to stop some of those Iowa State surges, gives Northern Illinois the elusive win over Iowa State. That ends their season series. Iowa State, of course, leads 3-1 now, but Northern Illinois gets the win today. And that'll do it for us here at the SHL Network and on Marquee Sports Network at the Allstate Arena. From all of us today, thank you for joining us. For Jimmy the Wiz Olsen, our outstanding producer, who kept us going here all day long. We appreciate you and all the people and partners at the Chicago Wolves who make this possible. For Mike and Chris, my name's Anthony. We will talk to you guys next time after a 5-3 win from Northern Illinois. We'll see you next time on the SHL Game of the Week.